to know how aggressive parents see their children? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about good parenting and good family communication. I talk about these things and we look through the lens of the principle self-government. So let's talk about aggressive parents and what that means to children in this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about what aggressive means, what false ideas aggressive parents often have, and what it does to their relationships. And then we're going to talk about what these parents can do to become more assertive in their parenting. An aggressive person is ready to or likely to attack or confront somebody else. If anything happens, their go-to is battle, confront. Now, sometimes they do it with a mean face. Sometimes they do it with an attacking word. Sometimes they do it with their actions and their hands and their body. So it depends on how aggressive the person actually is. And just so you know, if you're passive aggressive, that's basically just aggressive, okay? The only difference between passive aggressive is that you're usually not as loud and maybe not as physical. An aggressive parent might smack their child. A passive-aggressive parent might just grab the child's arms and just like dig a little bit into the child, right? It's like, you better not. Okay, so that's passive-aggressive. Another example might be that an aggressive parent might yell at the child, where a passive-aggressive parent might just say some snide remark or not want to talk to the child and give them the silent treatment, okay? Either way, there's aggression going on inside, and the person is actually trying to attack the other person, okay? This is a manipulative tactic to get their way or to try to get a point across in a war mentality. So aggressive people, they're at war. So what false ideas do parents have that engage in this aggressive type of parenting? Because they definitely are buying into false ideas. One false idea is that they need to protect, that they've got to protect themselves or they've got to protect other people. So in this idea that I am going to protect, they get aggressive. And the funny thing is they break down all their defenses doing it. So it's completely ironic. The best way to protect yourself is to be calm. Proverbs 25:28 says, "He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls." So if you are lashing out at other people and you do not have rule over yourself, then you have no protection. Another false idea that an aggressive parent has is they think that if they are aggressive, that they will be able to handle a situation faster. They don't want to take the time to talk about it and to be calm. Instead, they just want to get it done. Get it done quickly. Well, that's not faster. It might initially seem faster because you're doing something quickly at first, not taking time to think or to plan something out. But think of the damage control that has to happen after. How long is that child or that other person not going to trust you, not sure when you're going to snap next? Maybe you want them to do that because maybe you want to manipulate your children, but most people don't want their children to fear them in that way. They want to be approachable to their children, have good communication and conversations with their children, instead of be a source of fear. But if you have chosen to lash out aggressively or passive aggressively at your child may not think that they can trust you, and so soon they pull away from you. That could take years sometimes to fix. Some aggressive parents falsely believe that in order to fix a problem, that they have to shock a child or jolt a child into a change. Well, you can't change another person. You can't make a choice for another person or change their heart. They have to do those things themselves. So if you are trying to shock them into a change, still you're just manipulating. You're trying to change their behavior, but you'll never change their heart. Another false thought that many aggressive parents have is that, well, there's no other way. This is the only way that this child responds. So I have to do it this way. Is it the only way that this child responds because you've never deliberately taught another way that could work better? Because you've not talked about all the ways and which way your family prefers to do things? And just because you keep using it and the child keeps responding to the manipulation. Aggressive parenting is manipulation. There is a solution. The solution is to be assertive. let's talk about how to do that. I have a whole lot more that I could share about what aggressiveness does to children, how it helps them learn, how it throws them off in their pursuits for life and everything. And it's contained in this book, Popular Parenting Methods. So if you look up Popular Parenting Methods by Nicholeen Peck, you'll find more about aggressive parents, passive-aggressive parents, and passive parents, as well as assertive parents. We're going to take a little bit of time to talk about assertiveness now, but you'll find a whole lot more in this book. And you can find it at teachingselfgovernment.com. So we're going to talk about what you can do to be a more assertive parent, but I think it's really important for us to just as quickly as we can, answer the question, how do aggressive parents see their children? They see them as objects. They see them as obstacles. They see them as something that they have to work around somehow, or someone that they have to battle. So it's really seeing a person more as an object, which is not a healthy way to see another person. So what can we do to be more assertive in our parenting? Well, number one, we're going to definitely see the children as people who are learning, acknowledge their role as learner in our family. So that means we're a teacher, right? Parents are going to be teachers if children are learners. This book here, Roles, The Secret to Family, Business, and Social Success, is all about the roles in the family. If we don't have the roles in the family in the right place, if we don't deliberately talk about that, then there's confusion. People make assumptions and they just become selfish and do whatever they want to do instead of considering who each other is in the family unit. An assertive parent makes a plan. They don't just deliberately talk about who they are, but they talk about what they're going to do, how they're going to handle situations as a family. If somebody is having an attitude problem, how are they going to help them? If somebody is getting aggressive with somebody else, what do the children need to do to handle that situation? Well, I always say I've got a skill for that. There are self-government skills that can handle almost any circumstance that you might find yourself in. And those self-government skills are taught in this book right here, Parenting a House United. This best-selling book gives parents the skills they need and teaches them the skills their children need to learn self-government. Some of those skills that the children need are taught in this children's book series. So this book, London LaRae Says Okay, teaches children how to follow instructions. There's 5 steps to that skill. This book, Porter Earns a Quarter, teaches how to accept no answers and criticism. Again, multiple steps to that skill. And then Big Win for Quinn teaches how to accept consequences. There's 6 steps to that skill. And then this book, Paige Takes the Stage, teaches children how to disagree appropriately so that they can be understood, but do it in a way that would be appropriate and respectful. And there's 7 steps to that skill. So teach the children the skills that they need to communicate with you, and then learn the skills that you need to communicate with them. If you have skills, you don't have to rely on your emotions. The brain does different things in different places. The middle part of the brain handles a lot of our emotional processing. If you are being aggressive, you are staying in mid or back brain, which are emotional parts of the brain, instead of staying in front brain. People who stay in front brain are very calm and collected. They don't let things get to them because they keep thinking. They keep focusing on what's going on. The prefrontal cortex handles all of that cognitive thinking that you need to do in order to stay calm and collected. So how do you stay in front brain? You've got to make a plan for what you will say in any given circumstance. That's where the skills come in. And there's some deliberate training that you can do for yourself and your children so everyone's on the same page. This increases predictability in our family communication, which will decrease anxiety and increase better behavior and better family bonding overall. I would like to share with you some tools for what you can do to be more objective in your parenting so that you can help children have better lives. So if you've enjoyed this video, then I know you'll love my next video, which is called Subjective versus Objective Parenting. Click on the link to that video now. I'll see you there.